O Allah, guide me among those whom thou hast guided aright, and preserve me among those whom thou hast preserved, and befriend me among those whom thou hast befriended. Bless me in whatsoever thou dost grant me, and deliver me from the evil of what thou hast judged. Surely thou judgest, and none can judge against thee, and he whom thou befriendest is not disgraced. Blessed art thou, O Lord, and exalted be thee above what they set up besides thee. I bear witness, nothing deserves to be served besides thee, and I bear witness that Muhammad is thy servant and apostle. Amen.
But I want you to remember that you're in the day and time when that you can, if you want to, be a great nation.
You're tuned in to the Mind of an Entrepreneur show with your host, myself, Sajda Wendy Muhammad. I am a multi-million-dollar business developer. I have developed business and real estate around the world, and I want to share with you my mental strategies, my technical strategies, and how I made it in the world of business. So I don't teach theory. I tell you about my life and introduce you to people who can also share with you what they've done to become successful. This is a practical show. This ain't a theory show. You don't want to miss it. So stay tuned.
You belong to yourself. You're an independent people, created from the nation of free people. Yes, sir. You don't need to go nowhere but to yourself. Yes, sir. There will be a great separation. Yes, sir. So I said, it is on now.
The college is meant to prepare you for your future. That the time dictates that if we don't do something for ourselves as a people, we will be destroyed. And the aim of the enemy right now is to take us out.
We have God with us. We have Him as our guide. Yes, sir. We don't have to stand around here and ask the question, what must be done? Yes, sir. Get up and let's go and do something. Yes, sir. We cannot sit down. We cannot lay down. Yes, sir. We must get up. Yes, sir. And go to work.
Do you know what real joy is in life? Visioning something and bringing it into reality. That's real joy. Do you know what the next step in joy is? Behold how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell in unity.
Tonight, you need to fasten your seatbelts. We're going to hear from some of the greatest minds in the world. I don't know about you, but I'm tired of trusting our future and the future of our children into the hands of those who don't love us. I believe we need to revitalize black leadership.
Peace and best blessings, family. I feel like I haven't seen y'all in a long time. Forgive me, I'm having a little bit of a sun challenge that I'm definitely not tripping on. Anyway, welcome to the Mind of an Entrepreneur show. The reason why I say I'm not tripping on it is because I'm just happy to be in awareness of being in the presence of the sun, moon, and stars. I'm your host, Sajda Wendy Muhammad. This is the Mind of an Entrepreneur show. I started this show, as a podcast. Then we went to syndicated radio. We started doing this here on YouTube, and we're working on moving to the next phase. I'll tell you all about that. It's real close. For people who like to define folks by what they do, I'm an international real estate and business developer, strategist, and urban historic preservationist. But really, I'm a believer and a global thought leader. I love thinking, and I love looking for Allah everywhere. But anyway, that's for those people who need definitions, right? Make sure you like and subscribe, okay, to the Sajda Wendy Muhammad YouTube channel. Today, I'm excited because we're going to discuss arts and culture, hip hop. We're going to introduce you to an emerging new market leader and influencer. The tide is turning, and we are really moving to the front of the game. And I suggest that anybody watching, anybody that's interested in investment, if you're interested in partnership, pay very close attention to this guest that I'm going to introduce you to today, because he really is an industry disruptor. We're going to talk a little bit about that. Okay. So for those who don't know me, you might be saying, okay, what does Wendy know about, or does Sajda know about music, right? I know a lot about the entertainment industry. Let me tell you a bit about my background. Let me give you my receipts. So when you see me vouching for this brother, you understand, not only do I know what I'm talking about from a business standpoint, as an economist, as somebody who can see the landscape of the industry and of the market and the dollars that are flowing our direction. But I got a little bit of history in the industry. So first, I come from an entertainment-oriented family. My grandfather and his siblings performed in and ran nightclubs, which during the 1940s and 50s were also entertainment venues, because Black artists were often restricted when it came to performing in venues and spaces owned and operated by white people. So we created our own venues, and my family actually ran and performed and brought some great artists, into the city of Omaha, Nebraska. In addition, a couple of my family members are artists. We have singers, rappers, and creative artists all throughout my family, including myself. Shout out to my nephew, JT Frank, who has a big show this weekend. He raps. He's a Bay Area rapper. I spent most of my formative years as a flautist. Y'all don't know what that is, huh? I played flute and the organ, and I sang in jazz ensembles and performed in pageants. And I also spent my time in the entertainment industry on the business side as well. So I had a company called Black Rose Music Group in the early 2000s. We did management, we did royalty audits, managed a few artists, local artists, for those of you Chicago hip hop heads like Triple Darkness, Madison Buchanan, Soldiers at War, including Brother Tyre's dad, Brother Hakim. And I worked often as an event coordinator. And I learned how to do event coordination working for Minister Farrakhan and putting together, remember when he was doing all those Stop the Killing tours and men only meetings? And so I was very integral on those teams, and was able to transfer that over into a business in my company. I also started a digital music distribution company before it was even popular, through a partnership I set up with a company called IOTA. I don't know if you guys remember IOTA. I think they became Orchard or something like that. And I began the push here in Chicago within the music industry to get people to release independent albums digitally. They couldn't comprehend it. They was looking at me like, what is wrong with her? It's like me saying putting businesses on the metaverse, right? And like I mentioned, I I then moved over into general business consulting and had a few clients as well when I started my business consulting company, where we did royalty audits, ticket audits, and a bunch of stuff like that. So anyway, I just wanted to let you know that before we begin. I see y'all in the chat, chatting it up. Okay, now let me tell you about my guest, Chris Muhammad. And I want to read to you a recent press release that is going to tell you a little bit about him before I bring him on. And like I said, he's a phenomenal music industry or entertainment industry influencer and an emerging market leader. He understands how we don't have to be siloed and just say, I'm an artist, I'm an accountant, I'm a this, I'm a that. Our businesses can flow together, and he understands how to make money in this industry. He's the CEO of 12 Majors Entertainment. And I just want to read you this PR, this press release he sent me, so you can understand the level that my brother plays on. The top tag of the press release says, Godfather of hip hop, of Chicago hip hop, No ID, partners with 12 Majors LLC to help independent artists gain access to key music industry resources. Now, Chicago, Illinois legendary figurehead and godfather of Chicago hip hop, Dion No ID Wilson, and his RTM Recordings label are teaming up with Chicago-based imprint 12 Majors LLC to give a helping hand to independent artists in Chicago and around the world. Y'all see the synergies here? They were friends for nearly 30 years. 12 Majors founder Chris Muhammad, professionally known as The Sick One, and No ID have worked on music together over the course of their friendship and are now upping the ante in an effort to assist independent artists to break through and get their music heard on a larger scale. Their initiative will focus on a number of key component artists need to be successful, including music production, artist development, marketing, distribution, and pitching to major labels. And here's a quote. Our partnership, and this all came about when Dion asked me to help him look for new talent. After several meetings with different artists, we began to notice certain things missing that prevented these artists from reaching their goals. The Sick One said. That's Brother Chris. There is a lot of talent here in Chicago and all over that really are only missing certain resources and an ear that's already inside of the industry. We want to be the bridge between the two. No ID and the Sick One plan to do some exclusive work in Chicago before expanding across the country. They have handpicked a few artists to get started and will release new music when the year is over. And we're talking about one artist that's being released today, his project, The Last Supper. We'll get into that. But let me tell you all about No ID, because No ID is kind of quiet. Brother Dion's a little quiet, and some of y'all may not know him. But he's christened as the godfather of Chicago hip hop. First came on the scene as a main producer for most of Common's first 3 albums. He then went on to mentor Kanye West and produce hits for a who's who list of artists, including Jay-Z, Nas, and Drake. His label, RTM Recordings, is home to artists such as Snow, Allegra, Janae Aiko, and Vince Staples. That's who my brother is tied in and connected to. Let me bring my brother Chris on the screen.
All right.
Look at you. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalam. How you doing?
Good. It's good to see you. Good to have you on here, because this is a subject, Brother Chris, that is near and dear to my heart, because Chicago never gets the recognition in entertainment and especially hip hop for us local Black artists, because we don't really have an industry where money flows. All the venues are owned by the city. Right? So it's not like New York where you got an industry that can feed financially.
Right.
So what you guys are doing, to me, is phenomenal. I'm really excited to learn more about that.
Yes, I want to thank you for I heard your kind words before you brought me out. I want to thank you for having me on. And you know, the thing is, what I discovered being in Chicago, a lot of artists leave, you know, or executives, they leave because of that very reason, because of not having a system to move things to the market. So, you know, we've had some big artists in Chicago that left, and some, you know, they come back and try to help, but we don't have that community support. We don't have venues, and you know, Atlanta has a whole different system, and New York has a system, but we don't have a system here. And that's what I feel is unique about what we're talking about, is creating a model that works here in Chicago. So No ID is myself, we have John Monopoly, we have Abnar, and there are others that are all working together.
Yesterday, I ran to Africa at Sip and Savor, and she was FaceTiming with John, and we just all happened to talk. So
yeah. So Chicago, believe it or not, it's you got Don C, you have GLC, and it's Rhyme Fest. A lot of artists that's doing a lot of like real estate. They doing a lot of different things in different industries. And when we go to LA, you know, we take over. You know, those of us who come from this city, you know, we actually take over.
Yeah,
I think it's time to kind of bring that back. Being able to, you know, I admire artists like Chance and Vince and those Vic Mensa, those who stay in the city and kind of get something going to help create some energy and synergy. It's not easy to do it, to get corporate money to come here. And a lot of it's due to people not being here to kind of like oversee it. Because a lot of times when you get these situations, they want to know, can you deliver a product?
Right.
You know, and then the violence. That's another thing that you're dealing with the violence. So weeding through all of that, I think it is a challenging thing, but I think that we're headed in the right direction with the leadership we have. I think we can actually we can pull it off with the groundwork.
I think you all are headed in the right direction, because it takes somebody to see an emerging market, to see how much money can be made, and then on top of it, be able to say, you know what, we learn, pool our resources, let's together, and we have to drop those silos that have come over as a result of slavery. Things like, I can only do this, and let me package things a certain way. We can create a whole new industry. You and I talk about technology and history, and including what you guys are doing with the Honorable Elijah Muhammad House. And I was just meeting the other day with a sister, and we're talking about putting these plays on the metaverse and things like that. We just have to be industry disruptors, which is what you are.
Absolutely. You know, my whole thing, you know, when we got, I know we're going to talk about it a little bit, but when I got with the first artist, Tyre, you know, he was just so talented, but he was not the normal thing that's out, but he can actually disrupt that and actually compete, I should say, with a market that's thriving. You know, no matter what we think about it, we may say it's negative or it's this, but it's the reason the corporates are putting money there is because they're making money. So, you know, we have to be able to put something there that can do the same thing. And it's appealing to the youth. You know, we don't want to be in a space where we don't have any market share. We can't say, you know, hey, this is going to work or why it's going to work. And condemn what other people are doing. We have to get in there and put a product out that's good, that people will like.
Yeah.
And that's what it takes.
Take back the industry, right? It's time for us to own and monetize it. And I think we can start like what you guys are doing. You mentioned, you know, all these people, you know, you all coming together, and I just think it's amazing. You brought up Tyre, and we all call him nephew Tyre. You know, I used to manage his father.
Right.
And it's interesting because I was listening to a snippet that he sent me, and I was listening to how he was phrasing things and his rhythm, and I was like, wow, there was so much about him that reminded me of his dad. So tell us about Tyre. We're going to show his video, but tell us about him.
So Tyre, I actually met. So me and his dad was talking one day. And he was in Indianapolis at the time. We was talking about doing some music or something like that. And his son Tyre was there. He was like, my son is with me, that kind of deal. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So after we got off the phone, I got an email from Tyre, and Tyre was saying that he was 16 years old. He had just done a song over Trayvon Martin, a beat. It was a beat that Kanye had did. I think Black Skinhead is the name of the song, but he actually did a rap dedicated to Trayvon Martin. So when I heard it, I was like, wow, this he's really talented. At the time, I was looking for a young artist, like 16. That was real popular at the time. And I had another artist, a kid I was working with that wasn't quite working out. So when I heard him and I let people hear him, they's like, man, he's cold. He's cold, you know. So we started talking from there, and I didn't know that he went behind his dad's back and actually emailed me. But I told Hakeem, his dad, yeah, your son emailed. He was like, what? You know. I said, no, it's cool, you know. And in my mind, I was like, he don't even know how good he obviously don't know how good he is, you know. So from there, we just started, you know, he just started recording songs, sending it to me, and we just started hanging out. And as more people heard him, they was like, man, he's talented. And I used to always say he Kanye West talented. You know, that's what I always saw in him. And you know, and looking at him now, his project and what he's doing musically, I think he have more people in support of it and involved in it. Is no artist in Chicago that have as many people involved in him trying to get him to be successful, you know, far as, you know, everybody since Kanye's first album, you know, and it is a lot of anticipation, you know, on what's going to happen down the road. You know, he's just getting started, but I think when you hit a whole album on the mixtape, you will kind of see exactly. He talks about God a lot, spirituality. He talks about what the youth are going through, and he talks about street stuff, you know. But it is a breath of fresh air. Something you can ride to, and listen to, and experience. Yeah. So we are excited about it. You know, I co-produced a lot of records on. I executive produced it. The project. No ID helped and mentored me to do. I learned a lot. It's a lot of work in putting out records in a I should say a professional.
Well,
yeah, you know, because it's a lot of legal stuff got to happen. It's a lot of sample clearing. It's just a lot of things that got to happen for it to go right, and for people to say that it'll work or they want to put money behind it. Yeah. So it's a difference when somebody put something out and somebody say, "Hey, I'm gonna put 100,000 behind it." It got to be worth it. So, you know, we're excited about it, and you know, he's supposed to have been here today, but he's actually having his son today.
He's watching from the hospital.
Okay, good. So, yeah, so we're gonna celebrate once that happened. He's been waiting since yesterday, so
I told him today. Birth to two things today: his project, and his son.
Absolutely,
so that's absolutely. Thing. And here's one last thing I just want to say before we go into the video, Brother Chris. I think it's important for us to do this and do it differently, the way you and No ID, Abnar, and all of you all are doing it. And also think about product placement, which you blessed me with product placement of the commemorative Elijah coin.
Yes.
But then taking the music And some of the projects, for example, that I do as a business person, I'm all about us bridging those gaps and pulling those resources, educators and entrepreneurs coming together, music industry with the entrepreneurs, the business people, where the music can be infused in some of the things that we do. We can use our own music in our advertising and stuff like that and build our own ecosystem. It don't take a lot when you start breaking down the numbers. Really to go to number one if we pool our resources.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, the I don't want to use the right word, whether the artist that's more the street artists that we know in Chicago, and they might be, you know, out hustling, and you know, they do their business to make money, but they support each other. You know, I was having a talk with a friend of mine, you know, just a second ago. This guy will call it might be Dirk or some artist, say, listen, this guy wants you to get on the record. He might not even know the guy. Oh, he's from 63rd over there. Oh, okay, come on, I'll do it. You know, they support it and help it grow. And I think a lot of times we don't understand the importance of a cosign, importance of this person doing that or this person doing this. Those little drops help move it forward. Music itself, hip hop is the most powerful thing in reaching people, reaching consumers. And this is why.
Let me jump in and tell you a story. Let me tell you something that happened. Okay. I went on a healthcare trade mission. And one of the stops was Seoul, Korea. And if you know anything about the Koreans, they're very ceremonial, right? So they were very excited to meet us because we had built the hospital. They were really sitting down wanting to talk to me because, you know, I had put this whole thing with the hospital together. They wanted to talk to my business partner as a surgeon. So when we all came together, they had a dance festival that they wanted us to see before we went to the meeting. So they took us to a ceremony, then we went to the dance festival. We sitting in the dance festival and it's on the streets like a parade. We in these bleachers. Coming down the street was about 100 Korean youth in orange jumpsuits, and on the back it said DOC. Like they don't even know what DOC is. Right. You know, it's cute to us. And they were dancing and doing hip hop dances. To, you know, funk infused West Coast type of beats. It was K-pop, but a little bit different. And I said, look at this influence.
Yes.
No one's questioning. Everybody clapping and everything. We all the black people, we looking at each other. Department of Corrections be dancing around about, but they don't know. They're just copying off of us.
Yes, absolutely. It's, you know, so I tell, you know, I used to work in social service. You know, I have a correction officer background, and I used to work in group homes with troubled teens and juvenile delinquents and stuff like that. And a lot of times they would ask me, man, how do you reach? And I will always connect with them because it's all about connecting. You know, I'll connect them through music. You know what I'm saying? That's my point of entry right there. And I start there, and they talking, and then I can kind of guide them where I want them to go. But if they want to talk about money, I just talk about music. Hey, 50 Cent, you know, he had this, he did this, you know, and I just reference it there, and I'm able to connect with them quicker. And I think the minister said it. He said one rap is has a strength of 10,000 of his has more strength. I think he said more power in one of his 10,000 lectures or something like that. I can't remember how he phrased it. But he was saying how it reaches so many people. And he said he went to Africa. They had it little cassette tapes, and they were playing music. And so that's what made me, off of that lecture. I wish I remember how he said it, but off of that lecture, when he said that, that made me say, man, we need to be in the music business, right? We need to, if it have that much power, then we need to be influencing and communicating, using it as a vehicle to communicate to people. So, and that's what I did. So when we talked and I saw what you was doing with the home, Sergeant's house, and you showed me the coin. I said, look, we could put it in the video, and put some eyes on it, and then come back and do something else with it. And the brother and sister that actually deals with the non-alcoholic winery, I want to get them involved. You know, these are the things that we have to do to create what Noadi taught me, the brand energy. You need brand energy. We have a lot of ideas, but we don't have the brand energy to give it the look, the sparkle that it needs.
That's I love that. That's brilliant because, you know, when you start thinking about putting together this whole ecosystem, the brand energy is what's powerful.
Absolutely.
So let's introduce the video so that everybody can go down. And so I want you to set it up, and then we'll get it played. I'm just gonna add in here and let you set it up.
Okay. So so this video is the first single off of the mixtape. It actually the video is going to go live at 3:00 today. The single came out, audio was out on streaming platforms, came out last night at 12 midnight, with it today at 12 in the morning. And this record's called Last Supper. I actually named the beat. I actually produced the beat. Me and a friend of mine named Zoe mixed it. But the beat was called Last Supper. He just kept it Last Supper as the name. But I named it that because when I heard the beat, I just felt it was like an epic sounding type of track. So Tyre did his thing. It's actually the first record on the mixtape, and we filmed it in Chicago. And we just wanted him in the video and a young lady in the video with him, just to show him and his lyric ability, and him just claiming, who he is and what he's about. Okay. So that's what the Last Supper is.
Let's get into it. I'm gonna take me and you off of there, and let's get into it.
All right.
You are now rocking with the world's finest diamonds. Rap. Hey yo, they call me the general. El General, the general. Just saying in general. You gotta follow the leader. Look, follow the leader. Follow your heart, follow your teacher. Father God, help me above. I'm a believer. You see me working your earth. I'm trying to see you. Look at my brothers. It's nice to meet you. I greet you with words of peace. I give a piece of my heart to everybody. You can't save everybody. I had to learn. Work out the kinks like I had a perm. Adam and Eve, shit, I had a worm. She can't take me out to Applebee's, cause I bees at home with my queen. She giving me what I need. Peace of mind. And time will tell, but I get it now. I gotta put it down. Everything that keep me down, like the weed. It may work for you, but I know that it don't for me. She told me, and I'm not saying that I'm holy. I know me, OG. All praises due. We all made it through. God body armor, Ali, all ages troops. El General, I get all they salutes and give it back to the streets. I do it for my niggas who be clapping the heats and smashing the freaks and getting back on they dean. Who am I to judge? I can never put no man above my God on earth that I serve. All eyes on me, all pride on E. Car rides lonely, I can't trust you. You don't move right and I might bust you. Left you in my rear view, I'm clear you. Not though. Yeah, you're not though. And look, I don't need a lot of women, I just need another nigga. I just pray to Allah when I'm swimming in the bottom with them shark in the water. I'm a whale, so I'm swallowing them God body Allah, and I'm silent when I got a vision. I keep it to myself, then give it back with the work and the help. I gotta help myself first, and I don't care about the net worth. She wanna see how the neck work, but what would you do if you walked in my shoes, then walked in the room full of thoughts and some goons ready to work? But don't get lost in the views or the view. Keep running it up and stay in tune. I'm talking to myself. No matter how many millions I need help, can't do it by myself. Tyre Hakim, General.
I like it, Chris.
All right. Thank you. Thank you.
I think our brother did a beautiful job. Like I said, his phrasing is what I like. Not about the net worth.
Right.
Feeling it. I love it. I'm so proud of him. And
Absolutely.
you know, for those of us who know him, we just want to say congratulations to you, Brother Tyre. Wish you could have been here today, but that's okay. And we're gonna all go and download. Even if you listen, this is how this need to go. Even if you ain't into this kind of music, you might say, I don't like hip hop, but that's okay. Go on your Apple, your Spotify, wherever it's at, and make sure you download it. Go to Tidal, download it.
Absolutely.
We want to make today a record day. Make it so that when this album drops, it does the numbers that make other people go, oh, so when they start looking at their reports, what was the top download today? Let's make sure it's Tyre's project, The Last Supper.
Absolutely. You know, the thing about it is people got to see the vision. You know, they got to see the vision and see what it's about. You know, when I first, even though I've seen you over the years, we never met each other till what was that, 6 months ago. But I knew of you. But when I saw what you was doing, I just locked in. I got it.
You did.
Yeah.
And likewise, I've seen you and I was like, boom, that's it.
Yeah. So that's the kind of thing, and it may seem small now. A lot of times, we wait until something is so big, and then we say, hey, can I get in?
Yeah.
You know, and it don't look right when you do that. And the wise people, they catch it when it's building, because when it goes up, you know, then you
Chris,
go up with it.
I always tell a lot of the youth I work with, I say, listen, get in early, get in now. I give them the example. When I first met my business partner, who's a surgeon, we built the micro hospital together in Maryland. He couldn't pay me. So I had other projects I was working on. I'm back and forth. I was commuting from DC to Chicago. And then over time, we start building clinics, surgery centers, and doing all of this stuff, pulling it all together. And then, of course, we could share in profit sharing. And were it not for me having that mindset, I wouldn't have had the cash to go and purchase the home of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and do some of the other things that I've been able to do. So it's important for young people to understand, when you see people moving and doing things, get in now. Because like you said, it don't look right.
Yeah.
When you're trying to come later talking about, can I get in?
Yeah, it doesn't. And, you know, I say, you know, I've been knowing No ID for 28 years. I was sitting around trying to learn in the basement, and when Kanye would come over and learn and get little stuff and leave, and I would say, who is that guy? You know, it's Kanye. He I work with him, and you know, he gonna blow up one day. You know, he was just like everybody else, and I would just watch everybody come in and go, and some would stay, some would leave, but I would just stick around and try to learn. And I'll never forget when Ye came to the mosque. He came to MUI. This is in like '96, and to see a friend of mine, Antoine, and he said, "Man, I need somebody to help me write a song." You know, he said, "I'm gonna be one of the biggest rappers in the game," and I just, in my head, I laughed. You know, I said, "This guy, what is this guy talking about?" And I see Tyre talking that same way, how he's going to be great, he's going to impact people. And I realized only the person who says it has to believe it, you know, that they're going to make an impact. And and you know, Kanye made an impact, and a lot of us was around him that didn't help him with the rap, so wasn't a part of what he was doing. Some did. John Manop and others did take advantage, and a lot of them are doing well. Well, you know, now we see a new generation. It's a different time from that time. It was over 20 years ago. We have the ability to make another run at it. So for me, you know, I'm like, let's put a team around something that's positive, that's working. And be in a space where you can get mentored to learn how to do some of these things.
Right.
And I think from there, I think we can collaborate a lot of different brands that we have that's not really, where they need to be, and infuse it with what we're doing. And that's what I'm all about. I'm about forming a network.
Yeah, that's why I connected with you, because when I started most of the time when I'm talking like that, I've been talking like that for years, I can see people's eyes glaze over, but I saw that you got it and you understood that. And I would also say to our artists, and I see Brother Tyre is watching, he just said, thank you so much, family. Stay connected. Stay connected to your people. You and I both know, I know I've experienced it on my level, that as you start to elevate in your success, in your career, it's very easy to lose touch with what's real. And a lot of times when people who are on the ground, they don't understand, but as you start to elevate, you become isolated.
Absolutely.
Less people who can connect and relate to you. You end up spending more time alone. And what I mean by alone, you may have people around you, but you may have people who just don't get you. So stay connected to the people who get you. It's going to keep your creative juices flowing. It's also going to keep you grounded so that you understand. And that's true for all of us, even in business. Like I said, I know I've gotten to the point where I remember one time I started working on so many big projects and I looked around. There was nobody that looked like me around me. I had been so busy and moving around so much. I was not in contact with people who meant something to me.
Yes.
And I could see where things can get a little bit warped.
Yes, absolutely.
So staying grounded, when you say, is important by staying in touch.
Yes, absolutely. Ain't no doubt about it. You got to have a team.
Yeah.
You got to have a team. And a lot of us don't understand it, but you got to have a team. There's no way you could do it.
You and I have talked about, I have a couple projects that I want to bring you guys into, movie projects and other stuff. In addition to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad House, y'all see this going across the screen. Y'all saw Tyre rocking his thing, but go out, get your commemorative Elijah coin.
Absolutely.
Go across the screen, sidethehouse.com.
Absolutely.
Because listen, when you walk on that property, it's going to be welcome to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad experience. You will not imagine the experience that we're putting together. So that was my quick commercial. We got these. Okay, but what's next for Tyre? What are you going to do? What's next with your company, with your partnership with No ID, and what's next for Brother Tyre?
Well, what's next with Tyre is we're going to get this project out. These next steps is very critical. We're going to have a listening party, a private listening party with all the top DJs in the city. That's going to be at a private location where they're going to come in and actually see and hear what we're doing. And this nucleus of people, the DJs and the radio personalities and influencers that's in the city, is actually going to be part of that network that we're talking about, that we'll be able to use to make things happen fast.
Yes.
And so us being in a position to be able to have something that they want to buy into will help us set this thing up the way we need to set up. And by the second, maybe second project or so, we'll be looking at doing things on a much bigger level. But right now our focus is Chicago, and some things in New York, and some things we're going to do in LA as well. But just get the brand out there, get his name out there, and get all these other things that we're doing. And then we're going to do it again, with someone else as well. And we just brought in the management team with Tyre. Abnar is the lead on the management. Then we brought in his partner, Mickey Halstead, who actually managed G Herbo and Tink and others. So we getting that side rolling. So now we just have a whole system where we can actually move things from A to Z. And then from there, we'll be attractive enough to, get money from different people, Samsung, or this, that, whatever. We're able to do various things because we got the look, you know what I'm saying? A lot of times, we might have the talent.
That's right. Create the system.
Right.
And you start dropping projects into the system.
Absolutely.
With the connections and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
That makes you investment worthy because people then can eyeball and see the system that this project flows through.
Yes, absolutely. So that's really the play. We had to have somebody that was coachable enough to go through the process. And Tyre was the one that stuck through it. And now we can go ahead and run the play.
Tyre act up. All you gotta do is call his aunties. No, I ain't gotta do nothing. Pick up the phone, call his auntie.
Right.
You gonna come get him by them ears.
Absolutely.
Like you going to be successful. We not playing with you, brother.
Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely. Well, thank you, Chris, for being on. Make sure I get that invitation to the listening party. I can't wait. Let everybody know, do you have a preferred place where you want people to download? Are we targeting people to a specific download?
No. I just want them to go get it wherever they want to get it from. At this point, we just want them to get it and tell people about it and go to Instagram, follow Tyre Hakim, tell people about it and support it. That's the main thing. We want people to support it. And we have a lot of stuff coming, and we just want to support and just get it out there.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. Well, thank you, Chris, for taking time to be on here today. I know my brother Tyre couldn't make it because he's having another baby today.
Absolutely.
So he had two babies today.
Right.
They're twins, right? His new baby, his live baby, and the Last Supper. They're twins.
The Last Supper. Absolutely.
They're twins. All praises due to Allah. I thank you. Of course, I know we'll be in touch. And congratulations on everything that you're doing.
I appreciate you. Thank you for having me. And we're going to do some big things. I'm really excited about what we're doing. And we just got to keep running.
Yes, absolutely.
All right.
Thank you, Chris.
All right. Take care. God bless.
Thank you, everybody, for listening. You've been tuned into the Mind of an Entrepreneur show with me, your host, Sajda Wendy Muhammad. Y'all blowing this chat up today. I haven't even been able to keep up because it starts moving so fast, but that's okay. Make sure you like and subscribe to this page. Make sure you go out, follow myself on Instagram at MOETODAY Universe or at Sajda House. Follow Tyre Hakim, TYREHAKIM on Instagram. And make sure you support the completion of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad House. Go to sajdahouse.com. Some of y'all saying it's a lot of instructions. Well, this is just how we got to do. We strategizing to bring in this new ecosystem and put this new emerging market together. So we need people who are willing to go, hey, what do we got to do? So see, people who do business with me, like Chris or other people, you tell me you need something. You say, hey, I'm trying to launch XYZ. Boom, it's done. What you need. There's no questions. So here's the instructions. This is what we need you to do. So also go, if you use Spotify, Apple, Tidal, whatever, go out there, download The Last Supper, and let's make this record numbers of downloads here today for our brother's debut album and the birth of his new baby, The Last Supper. All right, family, peace and blessings. And we'll see you all soon, inshallah.
This is Sister Sajda Muhammad. We are proud to announce that the Sajda House commemorative Elijah coins are finally here. As we renovate and restore the former home of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, we have recycled the old copper gutters and downspouts and created a 1 ounce 39 millimeter coin made of 100% pure copper. Each coin is professionally graded and has its own barcode and registration number. This priceless heirloom made from recycled copper from the messenger's home, is now available at sajdahouse.com.